Hey print hustlers, we are at Barrel Maker Screen Printing up in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. We're meeting with Justin Moore. We're actually getting Steve set up. Steve Leishman, say hi.
Hey.
Steve's joining our onboarding team. We're also with Nick here, is also part of the onboarding team. We'll learn a little bit more about printing today and we'll go from there.
Hey.
Great, how are you?
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Hi. Hey, how's it going? Basically, once orders are entered, we'll go into production. This is Mikey.
Okay.
So Mikey manages like printing. He's a big advocate for Printavo.
I am. No, it's pretty cool. I like it. It's actually the first software that I've used for screen printing. It's actually pretty easy to use.
Cool,
I like
cool.
it.
So we hope.
So we have Printavo up right here, right? So this is where we burn screens. You know, on this side this is like the direct-to-screen program. So we're going through and like all of our color separations, they get entered into Dropbox, and she opens the files up in here, and basically each screen gets a color. After you print a few, they get exposed.
That was that light box with the vacuum that you remember seeing the video.
And then we'll wash them out on the other side. In terms of Printavo, what do you do with Printavo?
Who, me?
Yeah.
That's just where I go to figure out whether or not a separation's ready for me to burn.
So you're
And
looking
then
at what status are you looking at?
art separation complete.
First, there's like the mock-up created. When we change the status to mock-up created, it's automating an email to the customer to do an approval of the mock-up. After she creates the screens, she'll change it to screens burned, and she's also printing out the mock-ups right here. All right, I'm gonna throw it in the inbox. After the screen's created, she's the one printing out the mock-up, and then this is our production checklist. So we're gonna staple this together. I'm gonna drop this in. So like, what this is telling anyone is that the screens for these jobs are done, and they're gonna go over here and be labeled. This is where we mix our inks. We have all of our inks sorted by like Pantone. These are our stock colors. We mix a lot of colors. And so after she exposes them, they'll go in like this dump tank over there. Basically the emulsion will be washed off so that we have the stencils. These are like screens that are upcoming. So throughout the day we'll burn probably about 100 screens, and they'll all be taped up, and then they'll go with the shirts that we're gonna print them on. So you're taping off the perimeter here because ink will come through.
Yeah. How do you keep track of the screens? Like knowing which screens for which order?
They're labeled in our separations. We're putting the order number and like all the information. So like this here is like the underbase of the screen for order 37031, and it's 10.5 inches wide, and it's a back print. And then here we're measuring the tension of the screen, because when we register our prints on press, we use a registration board. So it's kind of like streamlining the process, but if one of our screens is looser than another, then it doesn't line up properly. In there, every time she coats screens, she's also measuring the tension and writing it down. This is like the mock-up that we just saw, right? So one thing that we use that is sort of like a visual cue is like if you see over there that there happens to be like just the work order, right? But this isn't with it, there's a good chance that the screens for this are not burned. So we don't want to go wheeling this over to a press to print it because it's going to sit there until we get screens. And it's also good if we're like looking at tomorrow's jobs on the schedule, we could go around and make sure that we have all the screens and everything prepped for tomorrow, all the shirts are here. So the check-in process here, let's just kind of do that over there. When garments come in, right, the first thing they have to do is basically be like, checked in against the work order. It looks like that's what they're doing over there right now. So like she's literally like just counting in the shirts. She's writing that they're all here. This order, for example, has a photo check, so they highlighted that because it's flagging that like we can't just print it. We got to print like a sample. You know, here's our like production notes. This customer wants a really thick, opaque print. There's so many different ink types, right? So like everybody wants sort of different things. Customer intake is pretty important, you know, what we put in the production notes. We have images attached. So in this case, like when we get to this point on this order, someone's gonna probably end up going back to this order to print these two images out. Because these are likely, yeah, because these were likely either a reorder or something that's saying like, hey, like we want it to look like this. Like these are references. So we want to see these. After that, like shirts get printed. So he's changing out his platens right now because he's going to print these pocket prints. So he's going to take all these off and switch them to like different platens. So like on the printer side, what he's looking at is the mock-up that we printed out. That's like his number one thing. And then that production checklist that we attach in the darkroom. The first one comes through. She'll hang it here as a reference. But also she'll take a picture of it. She'll typically end up taking a picture of the shirt as a whole, a close-up, and then also like a picture of this, and that'll be uploaded into the order so that next time this customer orders, we could simply like duplicate it, and like we'll have a picture of the shirts and the production notes and everything.